to episode 28 of the Webcomic Beacon Presents First Issue.
I'm Marcus.
I'm Melissa.
And I'm Fes. And this is Blue Beetle #1 from DC Comics. Alright, we got this cover.
Alrighty.
Pretty insane looking cover. I do have to say, I do like the opposite color, the colors.
Contrast.
The complementary colors.
Complementary
Yeah.
colors. The orange and the blue, it looks really cool. I do like that. The logo could pop just a little bit more, maybe have a little bit more of a black outline. It almost fades into it, but it's okay.
Yeah.
I will say that this is a very extreme comic cover here. Indecipherable surroundings filled with rage 90s face.
He's just shooting things. That's like, why are you blowing things
and
up?
blowing shit up. And I guess I'm a little confused. I didn't know that Blue Beetle was tech. Is it? Does
He is
anybody
now.
remember?
Yeah, well, he was...
I thought it was
yeah.
mystical.
It was always a kind of a mix for the new one.
Yeah, for the new one, it's a little bit of both. For
He's
the
a
old
Power
one,
Ranger.
it was all tech. But
Yeah, well, for the middle one, it was all tech. Then the earliest one was all mystical.
Yeah. So I guess I was a little confused on that because I only basically knew that much of Blue Beetle.
Don't worry, no one knows anything about Blue Beetle unless you were a dedicated comics fan.
Yeah. Cover, I think, looks pretty good. The scene, I'm going to say, is not going to be in this cover, in this comic. From looking at it.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't expect
it's so, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Doesn't really
But-
show anything.
But it does show you that if you are a Blue Beetle fan, this is not the Ted Cord Blue Beetle.
Yeah,
It
So
is
maybe a
about
cover
that.
more for the older readers.
No, from the newer one.
It shows you the character,
Yeah.
but it furthermore for the older readers shows you which version of the character.
Okay,
you're looking
okay.
at.
Yeah, because they have very distinctive costumes.
So, we open up, and we come across
Space Sector 2.
Space Sector 2, alright.
There was, we're at like 2000.
It's
dude.
also long ago. This is a prologue. There's
Well,
not many of these DC 52s that started with a prologue.
That's true.
Not many.
Although, to be honest, I didn't notice the words prologue because they fall right into the background.
Right.
Yeah.
I did read long ago, though, even though I did initially think it was a...
A long time ago.
Well, to be honest, I thought it was a
Galaxy
random
far
street
away.
sign here that I just happened to be able to read.
Yeah.
Because I thought, like, okay, alienese. Ooh, English. Oh, wait, okay, I get it.
Boom! Scroom! Alright, awesome.
Yeah.
We have basically...
Invasion.
Invasion. Things are going down, and we see...
Holy shit!
Hachikai!
Fucking Goku is a Blue Beetle. That is awesome. He's doing the fucking Super Saiyan 3 Ultra abilities, shooting Kamehameha waves at people, blowing up their insides. It's fucking Goku, man. With Blade. Oh, it's Goku and Guyver. They kind of mix it together.
We got a demonstration of... We're going to assume Blue Beetle's powers.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
we have a demonstration of Kaboom.
yeah. This is definitely someone in the Blue Beetle costume.
We got
Yeah.
Shook!
However,
Wham! Crash!
Yeah.
With a K.
Shing.
Shing! Swish! And...
You are
Yeah.
spitting all over that comic.
that poor comic. I'm gonna cry for it.
And we got a I
Hell yeah.
as one of the guys die. And I guess tactons is a unit of time.
Sure, why not?
Sure. All right. Or 12 tactons later. Maybe they're the planetoids of cities or... Anyway, some time later has passed, and this guy's all like, oh, regret. Oh, I don't even remember my name. And I guess the general of the invasion force is saying, like, you only need to know one name. You know, it's
It's your
basically...
alien name, your fucking Saiyan name.
Yeah, shut up and be a soldier like you're supposed
Like,
to.
tell me your
sort of
Saiyan
thing.
name, Kakarot. Come on, whatever.
And then it says, like, well, even though I've noticed you doubting yourself, how would you like to... We're going to send you off to this... Yeah, like Goku,
Yeah,
send him off
send him off to another planet.
to fuck up the planet or whatever.
Yeah,
it's
it's-
like, dude, you were just there as he's questioning himself.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, yeah, you can totally trust this guy. So that's your prologue.
And a Green Lantern pops up.
And
Green Lantern.
This is still long ago.
this is still long ago. Green Lantern shows up. And it's like, oh, that little bastard thing. I must destroy it because I guess
Yeah,
there's something to it.
He either knows that it's a problem or it's Ring knows.
So basically, instead of destroying it, it seems like it disappeared.
Teleports.
Teleported off to Planet 3 which is Earth.
Yeah.
Back at Mayan times when they still existed.
Yeah. It was just laying there in the ground, all fucked up.
Yeah.
Just like Goku when he hit the Earth and he wound up kind of bumping his head soon after and became good. Yeah. I wonder if that'll happen with the blue scarab thingy.
Blue scarab.
Will this damage somehow be prophetic in the fact that I didn't see the blue beetle as a
foreshadow?
Yeah.
Yep.
So
and scene.
End of the prologue to El Paso High School to not so long ago. And immediately my interest wanes.
Because once again, high school.
High school. I don't care.
And it's high school full of people that, the colorist doesn't seem to know skin tones.
Or shading.
This entire comic is made out of people made of rubber, apparently. It's all very gradient-y.
Yeah, it looks like when you don't know how to shade colors to darker shades of
the same color.
It's like they took like gray or black and put it on a layer above it, opacity over it, and used the faded brush tool.
Yeah.
It's a little pillowy looking. It doesn't look very good. The line art looks fine.
They're in bright sunlight, and yet there's this.
There are incredible shadows on these people.
The shadows are from very general areas that are definitely not from the sun.
No, they all look as though they're inside a room with a bright light being shined upon them.
Right.
So I've got.
I can tell the inker's fairly decent though.
Yeah,
the line art's
fine.
great.
The line art's fine. The coloring, oh boy.
Yeah, so basically we got a little bit of like high school stuff going on. This girl's gonna have a party. High school stuff, it's like there's people
15, man.
People kind of expressing interest in some other people. Kid wants to go, but the parents will let him because they don't like the parent. The parents of the girl.
They seem to be mob bosses the way they describe it, man. Everybody's like, holy shit, no, I value my life, and I value your life, son. You ain't fucking going.
Yeah, but here's the problem, parents. You don't say why. When you don't say why, the kid sees no reason why. There's no why. No, you tell them why. You give justification for your order. At a teenager, you need to give justification or they're going to do it fucking anyway because you didn't tell them why.
Yep. It sounds like you have an issue with this.
Just a little bit. Not really personally, honestly. My parents are great. But here's we come to the really bad. Okay, so here's this. I'm gonna try to speak this.
Anyway.
The speech is "Lo siento, mijo, pero there's no way I'm letting you go to La Casa de Amparado Cadenas," or something like that. That's obviously screwed up, but there's a little note here saying that is translated from Spanglish.
Yeah, it's still Spanglish.
So what is that?
It's written in Spanglish.
What is that?
But it's saying it's being translated from Spanglish. If it was translated
it's not translated.
It is Spanglish.
Yeah, it is Spanglish. Like if it was translated from Spanglish, it would be in English. Or are they saying that it was like every word that is in English here was in Spanish before? So now that it's been translated from Spanglish, we still get Spanglish, but it's reverse Spanglish?
My Babel fish is broken.
That's all I can think of because it's like, okay, so did you guys literally throw this through Babelfish and you just forgot, wait a second, if we translate Spanglish and you just go to Spanglish, it's going to come out the same?
No, what I bet it is that the Spanish words are originally English.
That's what I'm saying,
yeah. Okay,
that's what I was saying the first time. Yeah, they flipped it.
Got it.
So all the words that had been in Spanish are now in English. All the words that are in English had been in Spanish.
Alright.
So maybe that's how that works.
So it's like doing a photo negative of photo negative.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what we got here is like, we actually had to discuss this earlier and see if this had to be a point to bring up. The writer is actually Tony Bedard.
Yeah,
he's Puerto Rican.
Yeah, Puerto Rican.
Grew up in the
States.
Yeah, so it isn't like they fucked it up, like it isn't like they fucked up the culture or anything.
Yeah.
It's just odd that they would say it's translated from Spanglish and then go ahead and proceed to write it in Spanglish anyway.
Right. I mean, if it was truly was translated from Spanglish, we'd have angle brackets and all these.
But it's just written in Spanish, which is fine with me. I mean, I remember enough Spanish that I got through this no problem.
Anyway, we're spending too much time on this one little box that probably shouldn't have been there.
Yeah, that's all it was. They left it out; it would have been fine.
And cut to the party, and we get a little hint that probably shouldn't.
Mob bosses.
Probably shouldn't trust them.
If they just said so, it would have been a problem.
Yeah.
None of this would have happened.
So we have we cut to a scene where henchmen, they have to be henchmen,
henchmen
are
fighting,
trying to get something, get their hands on something.
Yeah.
And this woman who's covered in gradients is there.
Yeah, green gradients with blacks. I love how she has a skin-tight cloak.
Yeah.
Well, of course. Well, no, it's a skin-tight leotard, and she does have a regular cloak.
Oh, there it is, yeah. I thought it was just all one piece.
And I do have to give credit here. You do see her ass. You only see side
one
boob.
tit.
You see side boob.
Yeah, you can get that. You can get that.
You can get, yeah. So, yeah. And then they find that in the backpack, it's a backpack full of marshmallows. And also the blue scarab.
Yeah.
So obviously that's what they're looking for.
That's what they're trying to get.
They also get the blue scarab in there, so that's a bonus.
Yeah.
But instead of just the marshmallow.
Yeah, and then the guys that
because Molten Guy here can toast those marshmallows.
Fuck yeah, it's delicious.
And they're gonna have fucking balls.
Have you ever had marshmallows that were toasted by a fucking magma? It's delicious. Man. Way better than anything you would get by campfire.
A little gritty, but
and a little hint of sulfur.
Yeah. Man, I love that smell. Anyway, so we got the kid who's disobeying his parents is going to go to the party anyway, cruising in a sweet vehicle with some, obviously, I think
this is Buddy from earlier.
Buddy. And so they're driving around and suddenly, boom! They conveniently drive by a warehouse.
Right by the warehouse where this fucking fight is going on because a second group of supervillains showed up to try to stop the first.
Or supervillains or others. Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
And so, obviously, they get involved because...
You have to. Come on.
They have to.
It happens. It's an origin story.
If you had a giant molten guy fall in the front of your car, you get involved too.
Okay.
However, though, I wouldn't take the backpack that they seem to value and run away with it.
Well, here's the setup. Basically, the skirmish gets outside. The backpack gets dropped, flies into the back seat of the car, and one of the other bad guys jumps on the driver, jumps on Buddy, and is gonna basically set up. Some guy says, "Get the backpack after I kill these two people." Well, I guess he can do that, or he could just go get the backpack. But I guess the protagonist of the comic yells at him to leave him alone, and figures, I'm gonna say he's reasoning that, all right, get this backpack away, maybe they'll let him live. I can actually see that justification. You know,
I would probably throw it before I try to run off with it because they want to kill you anyway. So here's the thing.
Well, he's also
now they have you and the backpack in the same place.
Right. So, but I'm thinking he's just thinking, well, maybe they'll let him live, maybe he'll get away. If I run away with it, maybe they'll leave him alone, sort of thing. So this is a kid. You're not thinking entirely straight, you're just thinking right now. And of course in that scene, you know, maybe I don't know. That could happen. I give it a pass.
It wouldn't have a story if he didn't do that.
Right. He'd be dead, and this be the only number one. This would be Blue Beetle 1 of 1.
Yeah.
It's Deus Ex backpack.
Just let it go.
So then he runs away. He puts the backpack on his back. Starts running. He gets stabbed in the back
by what looks like Black Panther. At least according to the costume.
That's a Black Panther scarecrow.
Yeah, they had a baby.
And a little bit of venom.
Yeah,
they had a baby. But one thing I do like is that his wings are made of knives, and he peels them off and throws them. Well, kind of like old Archangel from the 80s.
It's pretty sweet. And so then, obviously now we get the scarab is
the Guyver Ben 10
stuck into his back, and then it starts to meld with his body and puts all this armor on him, and he starts bleeding black shit.
The Omnitrix gets on his back. That's all that happens.
Yeah, it's like then he turns into Kajida.
Kalima.
Mukti degi Kalima. Kalima.
Kalima.
Was it Kalima or Kajida?
Kajida. Well,
Kajida there, but Kalima.
See, at the beginning, the same character is Kaji Kai, and now he's Kajida.
I see.
And so,
what about
Kamehameha? This isn't a spoiler.
What about Kaioken?
You would have to expect this to happen. He turns.
Yeah, it's the origin story. It's
like, I'm posing like I've been like this all along, and I know what to do. So,
it should have been Genki Dama, or maybe he's a Kamen Rider.
I don't know. So we don't.
Kamen Rider Kajida.
Kajida.
Sounds like it, man. Besides,
so we don't know if any of these early guys is like partially imprinted, and copied onto this, or if.
Where the fuck
if it's just the armor. or whatever. We don't know what's going to happen after this, but...
Where the fuck is this motorcycle, man? You promised me a fucking motorcycle.
But obviously the scene of this shooty stuff is not in there, but...
You could argue that maybe that happened in between panels on the very early ones. He's blowing up his own home planet. This might have happened. This is the first panel.
I've been given a lot of...
You think about that? What was the first panel? What was the first thing he does, and then he shows up over here. Maybe he shot that, and that's
this guy is different. This guy is different.
Same guy.
Anyway. So, no, because also this design is obviously...
I don't care. I'm playing with you. Continue.
We got... Okay, so I hate giving so many succeeds in a row, honestly.
Who cares?
And
if they're good, they're good.
And I think this does good enough, almost good enough as a number one. The problem is... because the protagonist at the end, obviously...
He gets his powers. Whatever.
We get his powers, but I don't think we are gleaned enough from this protagonist. We are kind of introduced to a lot of elements in here, and I don't think we're long invested on any one of them. And I think that's part of what I was writing off. It doesn't make me care enough about any particular character. And I think that's where I do have to give it a meh, because it doesn't make me... I'm not invested enough in any character to really care enough. Mm-hmm. If you're a Blue Beetle fan, this is probably a thumbs up, because you like Blue Beetle and you probably glean enough from what's going on here that you're going to want to follow anyway. Okay. But that's me.
Well, I give it a succeeds. Just because what I got out of it was all I needed to know. You know, I got to kind of see the character, see him interact with his buddies, kind of see what sort of person he is. He's clearly the nicest one out of the bunch. He's got, kind of a girl he likes. So it's like, okay, I kind of get a nice parameter of sort of his home life and what that's going to be affected by suddenly becoming what's effectively a Power Ranger meant to destroy the world. That's pretty neat. So I'm looking to see just how damaged it is. Does he have to actually fight against those impulses to destroy the Earth first? Or is he just basically a super suit because maybe his brain is gone? Who knows? I'm kind of interested in finding out. So I give it succeeds.
I give it a succeeds. I think all the elements are there for a successful issue 1. It gives you the information you need. It starts the story off right, and it didn't particularly turn me on. I don't know if I'd particularly follow it to the second issue. I'm a big Ted Cord fan. I like the the 80s Blue Beetle quite a bit. This is a very different character, and it didn't quite catch my interest, but the information is there. It's a decent first issue.
Just curious, Melissa, what would you think if his name wasn't Blue Beetle, though?
I'd probably be the same.
Okay.
I'm fine with it being a completely new character.
Yeah.
It's just that this particular take, is something that I wasn't particularly interested in.
Okay.
And that's Blue Beetle #1 from DC Comics.